Okay, hello, I'm back on YouTube, not on Facebook, because I'm finding it really difficult to do the two together. I thought I could do it with one click, but it was taking me to either Facebook or YouTube. So I'm just going to check if there's anybody watching. So if you are watching, just let me know. I'm just going to get some water. Ah, Christine, thank you, Christine. Thank you. So, okay. So it's working on YouTube anyway. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Love you heaps. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I thought I could do the two together, but I had to choose one or the other. And so choosing one or the other, I'm choosing YouTube. So I will get that sorted. I need a virtual assistant. That's what I need. I need a very techie virtual assistant. And I think that would help me. But anyway, hi, Christine, and hi, Kathy. Welcome to your messages for the week. One of the reasons that I really wanted to do messages for the week live is because it automatically goes up on the channel and I don't have to then upload. So it just saves a lot of time. And one of the reasons that I wasn't going live before was because I didn't have the confidence to read live, and now I kind of don't care. It's like there is no one else. So, what's the worst thing that can happen? I might delete the video. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But hey, it's all a learning curve, isn't it? So, I thought I would do it live, and I really appreciate you ladies being on because it's nice to know you're talking to someone rather than yourself. Although when I'm doing it, when I'm recording it, I'm just talking to myself, and it's normally okay. So it's just a different energy, I think, going live as well. And of course, it would be lovely to be able to answer any questions or interact and things like that. So I'm going to dive in. First thing I want to say is if you haven't already seen the messages for the month of November, have a look on the channel for the messages for the month of November. They were very much about not judging things as being wrong, not viewing things as wrong and right, just viewing things as existence, creation, and evolution. And if it's something that you wasn't very conscious, or you would prefer to create something that you view as better, then let's just move on and do that and learn from it. So rather than judging yourself, because when you take away that judgment, you take away the guilt, the shame, the blame, all of those low frequency words, don't you? So yeah, the November messages were all about, let's not make the darkness wrong. Let's just shine light on it. It's like a child, isn't it? If a child does something unconscious or not preferred or wrong or whatever, then we don't point fingers and blame them and make them feel guilty and all these, it's your fault. We don't hold a grudge, we don't keep reminding them of it. It's like we just let them learn the lesson and move on. And that's what we need to do with ourselves. I think we need to do that with ourselves a lot more. And so that's what the November messages were. That was a summary of them, but have a look, because there was obviously a load of other messages that came up in those as well. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, can you just let me know, ladies, that you're still there? Because it's kind of very quiet and I'm not sure. Yeah, just let me know that you're still there. because there's something coming up saying that I'm on slow mode, and I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I just saw a heart, so there's something going on maybe. I don't know why I've got slow mode on and I don't know how to turn it off. Okay. Oh, right. Brilliant. Thank you, Kathy. Just checking. Thank you. So, yeah, the other thing was last week's messages. Last week's messages were all about taking your magic to the next level. And that has just been so relevant. I've seen it everywhere, taking this magic. I mean, like just me trying to do this, even though I didn't take it quite to the level I wanted to take it to. It's a process, but at least there's me trying to take my magic to the next level. I'm seeing this with so many people around me. The lovely Kathy is an example. Yes, I think you see the message later than we send. Definitely. I think there is a delay, but there was an option for me to actually delay it by only 2 seconds. And I thought, as opposed to 60 seconds, and I clicked that, thinking that then at least I would see the messages fairly soon. But again, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how it works. But anyway, I was going to use you, Kathy, as an example of someone else who's taking their magic to the next level by stepping into offering healing modalities and things like that. And of course, the lovely Liz is in Ireland, touring around, sharing her magic and taking that to another level as well, to a wider audience. If you don't know who the lovely Liz is, check out my YouTube channel. I have a whole section on self-mastery with Liz Nagel. So just around me, I'm seeing beautiful examples of people just inspired to take their magic to another level. Kathy and I were at the lifestyle show yesterday in Javier, and it was just full of people sharing their inspiration, sharing their love, being creative, and taking their magic to another level. So check out that video as well, because of course it's super relevant still. And the other thing I want to say is if you, there's still a couple of places left on my tarot reading online course. Have a look at my website, deborahjanesutton.com. If you want to join that, it starts on the 4th of December. And the other thing, if you are local to us in the Costa Blanca, the winter solstice celebrations, of course, are coming up on the 21st of December. And so we will be celebrating that at the Garden Retreat in Pago. So all of that said, let's have a look what the messages are for this week. So let's take a deep breath in. Just let your belly expand, activate your own intuition. Thank you. We have 3 so far, they're face down. If you're new to my channel, that's the way I like to work. If you are watching this, please make a comment. It's lovely to know who's sharing in the live stream with me. I think that's it. We have 3 cards. We have 3 cards for this week. So face down, it's time. Interesting. We've got the devil. Hi, Christine. Glad to see you're still there. But this is interesting. Because I was thinking about this the other day, actually, when this card came up. These are the same figures, of course, that we see in, Dawn Rising, hi. Oh, that's what you got this morning. Oh, hi, Dawn Rising. Welcome to my channel. Interesting that you got this morning then, because I want to share something that I think is going to be relevant. It was definitely relevant for me. We know typically the devil card is about temptation and addictions. We know it's about shadow side, the parts of us that perhaps we don't approve of. So this is all relevant to the cards for November. So definitely go back and check the messages for November on my channel, because it was about loving the devil, not making him wrong or bad. But the point I wanted to make, that a new aha moment that I kind of saw today, was that these are the same characters from the Lovers card, right? You've got the divine feminine, the divine masculine from the Lovers card, spiritually guided, and all the other connections. I mean, these are grapes that are coming out from her, which symbolize the fruit, the sinful fruit of Adam and Eve. He's got the fire coming out of him. Oh, she's got the fruit, sorry, there, the grapes there, and he's got the fire. symbolizing the passion and the lust and stuff like that. So it's a sign that they are kind of like Adam and Eve, masculine, feminine figures, of course, but they have kind of been taken over by, eating the fruit of sin, or, following lust and stuff like that. So they've been taken over by kind of like the devil ways, in inverted commas, I'm saying that. But have a closer look, because you will see that the chains, right, they're chained to the podium that the devil is sitting on, and have a look at the chains around their neck. They are so loose that they could take that chain right off at any moment. And I got truth bumps when I realized that, because sometimes we feel like we're trapped with the devil ways. He's also a sign of addictions. We might feel like we're trapped by our addictions. We might beat ourselves up or feel wrong because we have certain addictions. I know I was eating too much sugar yesterday, having not eaten it for so long. But rather than beating yourself up, it was like, look, you can take that chain off at any time. That chain will just go over his head. This is really interesting because it's kind of showing that we have free will, and it's okay. You followed your lust, you followed your sin. I mean, if we're not judging, what was the first thing I said about the cards for November? We're in November, we're in the middle of November. Of course, the messages for the month of November are relevant. That's what it's all about. So it's about not making it wrong. Not making the brownie I ate yesterday wrong, not making it right or wrong. It's just an experience. And then you can learn and grow from it. I think one of our biggest problems is our resistance to being wrong. We have a resistance to being wrong. And the more, whatever you resist, persists. And then we see ourselves as wrong, then we see the world as wrong. If we could just take out the whole word wrong, there is a field beyond right and wrong. Okay, that's what Rumi said, right? Let's move there. I'm going to live in that field. I'm living in that field. So you can take this chain off at any moment because you have free will. You're not held back by your addictions. It's okay. When you release the fact that it's wrong and you just bless everything with love and gratitude. I remember doing this actually when I stopped smoking. It was interesting because I was just smoking the one cigarette in the morning, and I was like, why am I still smoking one cigarette? I was already an energy healer. And I was like, this is mind over matter. I don't need it. It's wrong. It's bad. Why am I doing it? And every time I would have it, I would then beat myself up. And it was just ridiculous. So I thought, no, I'm not going to play this game anymore. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love the cigarette. There's just one. I'm just having one. So that's not a problem. It's not expensive. It's not antisocial. It's not that bad for me if it's just the one, And I just thought, I'm going to sit down and just love myself. And I'm going to love this cigarette. And I blessed it in the same way that I would bless a meal before I ate it, with the love and the gratitude. And it was such a bizarre experience because I took like 2 drags of this cigarette and then I just didn't want it anymore. I just didn't want it. And that was the end of my smoking. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true that when you love everything changes. Hi, Lucy Lou. When you love everything changes. And it's also, there was something that stuck in my mind this week. This is something that I heard from Paul Selig in his book, Innocence. The fabric of life can be adjusted because the fabric of life can be re-seen. That's what we're talking about with the devil. Re-see it. See it with different eyes. See it with eyes that are not judging. It's massive, really, if you think about it. There's like encompasses so many spiritual teachings, doesn't it? What you resist persists, and loving what is, and all of that. But it's just the truth that if you see something, it's not about like there's change happening and we have to adapt and go with the change. It's not only about that. This is about when there is no change happening, right? But you would prefer that there was change happening. This is why they say if you want to change something outside of you, you have to change it within you. Well, how do we change it within you? The way you change it within you is to see it with different eyes. And sometimes the beauty in the world and the peace and the harmony and heaven on earth that we're all like kind of working towards, it's there already. It's not somewhere we're going to. It's already there, but we need to see it. We need to see the familiarity, see what is already in our reality, see what already exists, but see it with different eyes, see it with loving eyes, with compassionate eyes, see it as evolution, as experience, as creation, as love, you know? And that is what will change it. When you see people with love and you allow them to be who they are and you love them as they are, they will find their own path. And any of their negative traits, in inverted commas, um, will go. Not because you've nagged them, not because you forced them, not because you kept telling them and telling them and telling them how to be good. No, by loving them as they are, allowing them as they are, and they will take the chain off themselves. Do you see what I'm getting at? I think that's a powerful, powerful card. Look, we've got the Ace of Swords, new way of seeing things. Ace of Swords is a new way of thinking. Wow, that's massive. New way of thinking. So this is a breakthrough. This is like an aha moment, you know, and it's come on the heels of this one, which is absolutely beautiful because it means that let's just change the way we look at the wrong. This is so November. This is the November messages being reinforced. This is actually us taking the November messages to another level, which isn't surprising because that's what it's all about, right? So this is amazing. This is wonderful. So see things from a different perspective. Well, let's not look at our addictions as wrong. I tell you what helped me with this. When it comes to addictions, this is my theory, if you haven't already heard it. I have a theory that the severity of the addiction is in proportion to the perceived separation from source. Somebody severely addicted to heroin, for example, or a hardcore drug, will have no perception of their connection to source. We are always connected to source. We have free will. We can always take the chain off. At any moment, we can take the chain off. Okay? But we don't perceive that. That's the trouble. So at that level of addiction, our perception of our connection to source, we don't have a perception of a connection to source. And then the severity of the addiction, and I don't want to judge addictions by this one's better than that one, because then I'm going down the wrong road, right? Wrong. Oh my goodness, how to avoid all these words. But you know what I mean? So then you might have an addiction to alcohol. It could be gambling. It could be shopping. It could be coming up to, I don't know, sugar, gluten, carbohydrates, negative thinking. So there's all sorts of different addictions. But the severity of it, I've seen this in my own life, the severity of the addiction is in proportion to the perceived separation from source. So that's why we often release one addiction and then find another one. So when I gave up alcohol, I started a sugar addiction. Yes, you're feeling the sugar and gluten addiction. Yeah, this is interesting, Christine, because so when I gave up alcohol, I just stopped drinking it. It was no effort. I just went off it. It just started tasting horrible. But I did find myself diving into sugar. And then I went off sugar again. I know I had a brownie yesterday, finding balance, no right and wrong. But really, as generally speaking, I haven't had sugar for a couple of years. But I found myself going towards carbs, bread, potatoes, things like this. So in my view, each one is kind of a little bit healthier than the previous one. But there's still this perceived separation from source because we still don't feel that. I mean, we do sometimes. And often I find after meditation or after yoga, and you might find this after whatever raises your frequency, it could be hiking in the mountains. Um, yes, exactly. I agree with you, Christine. So whatever you do to raise your frequency, when you do that, I tend to find that there is brownie and brownie. Some are just so. But I think when you find whatever raises your frequency, I find that the cravings go. Because you are connected to source. So if you were to have a very deep meditation and really feel that unity, especially by doing your healing activities or whatever you're meant to be doing, like, just sharing your gifts in whatever way, when you feel that connection to source, it takes away your addictions. You don't feel like the cravings aren't there. I think the cravings come because it's some kind of comfort because you're feeling the separation. Does that make sense? So this is about a new way of looking at things. So if your addictions are just connected to your perception of separation, then I would say like just meditating in a pyramid of light or doing whatever it is that you do to connect to your highest self. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to me, connecting to your higher self. And then, when as soon as we really can embody, I think that's the word I want to say, because like for me, I have moments where I just feel that total connection, like yesterday and the day before, I was working with a client and we just hit this really, divine love. It was just the most amazing feeling. And so when you have that feeling, there's no hunger, there's no cravings, there's nothing like that. But to maintain that 24 hours a day, I think, but when we can embody that feeling of divine love rather than going in and out of it, which seems to be what happens, but when we can embody it completely, then our perception of our connection to source is there, isn't it? We feel totally 100% connected to source, and therefore no more addictions. So I do see addictions as being very relevant on our path. And I think that's what he's saying. But the main point I wanted to make, of course, is that we do have free will. So let's not play the blame game. Let's not even blame ourselves. Let's just view it as evolution, and finding new ways of thinking. So swords are mental processes. We know from the first Hermetic principle that the universe is mental. Everything in creation is coming from thought. That's why our thoughts are so powerful and so important, because it's thought. Anyone that has ever had a thought, whether it be a dream, a fantasy, an imagination, it doesn't matter. It's a thought. So it exists in the field of consciousness. It might not exist in physical form because that takes concentrated collective thoughts to bring it into physical form. But it will still exist in the field of consciousness. Anything that has ever been thought exists in the field of consciousness. And so if you can think it and believe it, you can create it. We hear these things, don't we? But actually, on a quantum level, it's true. It's true. So this is a reminder of the new beginnings that come when we choose to believe in miracles, when we choose to believe in the most positive thinking, and to actually, I mean, I don't think we can even fathom in our human programmed minds, I don't think we can fathom the joy and the love and the beauty of heaven on earth that is already in existence. We think of it as a dream, as something, to be aspired to, but it already exists because everything in the quantum field exists in the now moment. But we only get to experience that which we resonate with. So this is why it's so important for us to open up our own door to all this beauty. Open up our own door, open up our own heart to the beauty that is in the consciousness field. Because by resonating at that frequency, we're bringing it in. We're bringing it in. And we have this card as well, which is interesting because normally, and this is another way I'm going to interpret this card. So it's interesting because I'm doing this reading tarot course. If you're interested in that, check out my website, deborahjoneshatton.com. And one of the summaries that I'm going to make, I think, in that course is basically how you interpret cards is 100% up to you. And your tarot reading journey is not going to be just learning on that course. It's a lifetime. Tarot is life. Life is tarot. And it's your tarot reading journey is going to evolve with you. So how you see the cards, how you feel the cards, I want to say, and how you interpret the cards is going to change all the time depending on you. There's a frequency, it has energy, and they're inspiring. So one of the beautiful interpretations of this card is that it's actually harvest time, right? It's harvest time, and he's carrying his load that he's harvested back to the village. Now, typically, the Ten of Wands is about a burden because it's quite a heavy load and it's on his shoulders, right? Now, you can choose. Remember, we have free will and we can choose new ways of thinking. And so I'm asking you to think about this differently because we can feel the burden on our shoulders sometimes. We can feel other people's responsibility. Maybe we're taking on responsibility for other people. What about these people that we're trying to change through nagging them, And it's weighing us down because we create our own suffering when we think we know the best path for another. When you let go of everybody and everything, and just allow yourself to go with the flow, it takes the weight off your shoulders. It takes this responsibility. You are not responsible for other people. You are not responsible for their journey. You are not responsible for the conflicts and atrocities going on in the world. And in fact, you can help and serve humanity by actually dropping the wands and releasing the pressure on your shoulders and transmuting that worry and that pressure and the weight of the world on your shoulders, transmute it into love and compassion for everybody and everything. See? Even the devil. You see where we can link this up? Even the devil. So what we can look at is that what we have harvested is actually all these techniques, these energetic techniques and ways of looking at life, because that's what it's about. That's what enlightenment is about. It's not really about anything changing physically. It's about us changing the way we think, changing our perception. Your reality is based on your perception. Punto. So if you want to change your reality, then you have to change your perception of it. The fabric of life can be adjusted because the fabric of life can be re-seen. Let's re-see. Let's re-see the Ten of Wands. And so I am re-seeing it as I have harvested and grown and learnt out in the field beyond right and wrong, and I'm bringing my abundance, the abundance of love, compassion, joy, peace, harmony, wisdom, I want to say. I'm bringing it all, and it's weightless. It's weightless, and I'm bringing it home. I'm bringing it to the community. I'm bringing it to the village. It's not weighing me down. It's my harvest, it's my abundance, and then I can share it with others. Wow, for me, that's really beautiful because I've never seen the Ten of Wands in that light. You see how you can see something in a different light and it changes everything? See things in a different light. It will change everything. Oh, I think that's our message this week. I think that's our message this week. See everything in a new light. See things in a new light. It will change everything. Wow, that's you completely. But but I've never seen that in the Ten of Wands. You know, this is such proof of how your tarot reading journey evolves with you. You know, you get to interpret, you know, things however you choose. So he's actually, yeah, it looks like a heavy load, but you know what these are? It's his wisdom, it's his love, his compassion, his experiences, his joy. It's everything that he's harvested and learned and grown and nurtured, and now he's taking it to share with others, and it's effortless. You know, he's strong. It's beautiful. So yeah, we can change everything by re-seeing it. We can change everything by re-seeing it. I love this interpretation. Yeah, Sharon, it's cool, isn't it? It just came to me now, live. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good example. Oh, and Dawn Rising, I love your readings. My children and I love listening to you. You have beautiful energy. Oh, hello, Dawn Rising. Do I know you? Oh, I thought you were new to my channel. And you, oh, okay. So you said that you pulled this one this morning, Dawn. So that's a beautiful interpretation of him too, isn't it? I love that. I love that. I've got truth bumps, and I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me this morning. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, seeing the world, re-seeing the world makes it weightless. I don't know. I'll think of a title and stick it on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate you connecting with me live. Oh, thank you. Thank you about that for the devil card. There are no negative cards, are they? Tarot is very much about you and it's the hero's journey, you and your path of evolution and how you view it, how you view it. Thank you, Christine. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification button, like, share, and all those YouTubey things. I'm going to check out how I can go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, because clearly I didn't work that one out. So I love you all. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.